Hello again, guys. It's Greg Bruni, and welcome back. Now, in my last video, I said that I was going to show you guys another pattern, okay? But I'm going to have to put that on hold right now because I recently came across some really good information that I want to share with you guys. Now, this information comes from a man by the name of Duncan Trussell, okay? He frequently appears on the Joe Rogan Experience, okay? Uh, that's a very well-known podcast. Joe Rogan has millions of viewers, and Duncan Trussell is a regular on that podcast. Okay. Now, I found an interview that he did on in another podcast called Future Thinkers. Okay, where he speaks about a lot of the things that I talk about. Okay, and I want to play a small portion of that, about 3 minutes or so. Okay, I want you guys to listen to what he says. Okay, now keep in mind this is coming from a person who used to actually practice. Okay, mystical works, occult works. Okay, when you hear it from him, that's who you're hearing it from, someone who actually used to do it. When you hear it from me, it's coming from a person who was attacked by it. Okay, so I don't know the inner workings of it and things like that. I know the effects of it very well because I was attacked by it, but he is a lot more knowledgeable about it than I am. And I just want you guys to listen carefully to the things that he says about it. And then I'll come back and discuss it, okay, a little further. All right, here we go.
We're living in the mind of God or something, or everything's information, and the information can be not only apprehended in ways that most people aren't apprehending it, but could also be manipulated in ways that most people aren't manipulating it. So you can begin to see new fields of data and then transform those fields of data using techniques that most people think are absolute bullshit. But you are begin to witness actual profound changes in your own subjective universe from these techniques. And then your life starts jumping timelines, because whatever the timeline you were on prior to recognizing these data fields and manipulating them, and that's gone. You've basically killed yourself, because now you've jumped into a completely new version of reality where suddenly you're with a person that you would never have been with had you not shifted your thinking. And this will bring you into the presence of either really good people or very dangerous people, depending on what kind of magic you're practicing, because some people are really into power. I was at this Ram Dass retreat talking to someone who met Carlos Castaneda. You guys know Carlos Castaneda?
No.
The sorcerer. So it's a great book. He studied under God, I can't remember the name of the religion where they take peyote, but he studied under a sorcerer, and he learned a lot of magic, real magic. And he could, just like Crowley. And, but some of the rituals are really awful, like sewing lizard eyes shut.
Jesus.
Yeah. Lots of, and I was talking to my friend like this, I never liked those. Once I got to that part in the books, I just stopped reading it, because it's like, I cannot respect anyone that would do something like that. That's so fucked up. Meanwhile, I'm a super hypocrite because I meet different podcasts. But the point is, this guy and my friend, I said to him, what? That's so fucked up. Like that. Where's compassion there? And my friend said, he's not into compassion. Sorcerers are into power. They actually see compassion as a kind of low level form of power. But it's not the power. It's kind of like grade school stuff. Compassion, sure. Yeah, okay. To fucking cultivate your compassion, whatever. You go ahead and do that. I'm traveling into the astral realm. I'm making people do things and they don't realize it. I'm making shit tons of money for myself and for my friends using magic. And I don't care about your compassion. Should I get you a blanket? And maybe we go to India and you find a nice hill to sit on with your blanket, Gandhi. Really? That's what you want, compassion? So you run into those people and they're real. And then you can get into the chapel perilous, where suddenly you get sucked deeper and deeper and deeper into ever increasing realizations of the complexity of the astral realm. You can get lost in the astral realm, and then you can basically go nuts.
Okay, guys, I want to go over some of the key points that he spoke about, okay, in this interview. Now, again, that's Duncan Trussell. Now, he said that compassion, sorcerers are not into compassion, but they're into power, okay? They see compassion as a low-level form of power, like grade school stuff. They're traveling into the astral realm. They're making people do things and they don't realize they're doing it. Okay, remember that's like a form of mind control. I mentioned that in my video, Mind Control 2. Okay, they're using, psychic power to do that. They're making tons of money for themselves and their friends using magic. Okay, they don't care about compassion. Okay, a lot of these companies with these big companies, the high level people, okay, they were put into these big positions using these types of practices right here. Okay, that happens. Now, he also said that you can get lost in the astral realm and go nuts. Okay, cause them to flip out. Okay, doing these types of things. These are the types of people that have access to this type of power. Okay, now he also said that when you learn to manipulate the data fields, you've basically killed yourself because you've jumped into a completely new version of reality. So in essence, you've become someone else. You become a different person. You understand? Now, uh, you got to be pretty sick, right, to sew a lizard's eyes shut. Okay. Now, when you've jumped into a new version of reality, you may not have been able to do that before. You may not have been able to sew a lizard's eyes shut before, but once you become this different person now you're able to do it. Okay, because this thing actually transforms the individual. Maybe not everybody who practices it, but some people, they do, change. They lose compassion. They become a different person. And folks, I'm not here trying to condemn any religion or any particular spiritual practice. Okay, whatever religion, anybody chooses is their business. But anyone can clearly see a problem with when you have a bunch of people with no compassion who have access to this type of power. Okay, that's a big problem. Okay, he stated in there they're traveling the astral realm and they're making people do things. Okay, without the person's knowledge that they're doing it. Okay, basically manipulating. Okay, they have access to tremendous amounts of power. Okay, if you look in the video that I made called Mind Control 2, I mentioned that. I mentioned that some group somewhere has perfected psychic control and they're using psychic control to do mind control. That's how they do it today. Okay, basically with these types of practices, occult type practices. Okay, they've perfected these things. They use that to manipulate matter. Okay, they can manipulate time with it. They can manipulate situations, outcomes, conditions with it. Okay, just about anything that you can imagine. Now, guys, understand that this knowledge is being kept very well hidden from us because they want to continue to control and manipulate everything. Okay, now with great power comes great responsibility. Okay, that knowledge is in the hands of the wrong ones. Okay, now when you have this type of power in the hands of greedy, selfish people with no compassion, you get a world full of turmoil. Okay, much like the world that we have now. Okay, all right, guys. I thank you for watching. May God continue to bless each and every one of you and your families, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.